All right, Jeff Zimmerman here. I'm with the Schofield duel, Floyd Sr., Floyd Jr., Kid Austin, world title contender. Got a big fight coming up November 8th, Dickies Arena against JoJo Diaz. How you guys doing?
We doing good. How you doing?
I'm good, ready to go, ready to fight.
Yeah, man, you always seem ready to fight. And before we get into that fight, though, just being on the card, Vergil Ortiz, the main event, co-main event, you're the co-main, on DAZN. How does that feel?
Feels good. I feel like I'm working my way back up in the ranks as far as getting to that main event slot. So I just got to do what I got to do. Then hopefully my next fight will be a main event, for that title. So this fight is just gonna put me in that position.
Yeah, man, Floyd, you've been like on the rise for it seems like the last few years, and you're really starting to crack what I would call like it was that kind of that Fab Four, like the Tios, the Ryans, the Shakurs, Tanks, Devons, or top five, and you're starting to make a name
Oh,
for yourself. You had that big fight lined up with Shakur and fell through. Go back to that time. I mean, you're in Riyadh, you're, the biggest fight of your career, and it doesn't happen. Take me back to that moment and then how you kind of recovered from that.
only go to when we get home.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. No, I don't really like speaking on that, but
Okay.
things happen. I lost my opportunity to get that green belt and that good paycheck. So I was a little hurt by that and seeing he didn't really have the greatest performance. So I felt like my opportunity was robbed. So when I got home, it was just spending time with my family. I feel like I needed a break anyway mentally, not only from that, but just from staying so active, being busy, um, and just like my whole life being boxing. I just felt like I needed a break, being with my son, my family. So I feel like that's what helped me, bounce back, and then not letting the silence get to me because when you sit in silence, that's when like all the thoughts come in. At least for me, you get all
Right.
those thoughts like, why me? Or so I feel like it was just being with my family, finding that peace again. I went fishing, went hunting, so that really helped.
How about for
Okay.
you, senior? You see your kid getting into, one of the biggest fights of his life, Shakur Stevenson, one of the best pure fighters, Olympian, world multi, division world champion. And then it falls through. How was that for you as the dad and trainer of your son?
I think any dad whose son get poisoned um, will be a different way. It is what it is. I spoke upon what happened. We left it there. That was all the way in February. But any parent would be traumatized if their kid was attacked in a sense.
Hmm.
So I mean, it is what it is. You learn, you grow. It brought me closer to God, brought me more spiritual because that's the only one that was in that hospital room with me, and we made it through it. And God have a way of exalting who we want to exalt. So He put Floyd right back where he had to be and more. So when God have a purpose, that's all that matters. So that's what I got to grow inside. So that trip helped us grow spiritually. So it was meant to be because it happened. But we never pulled out. The British board pulled us out. They won't let us fight. It is what it is. Now we get to fight for the WBA title.
Right,
So
right.
soon.
Well, and like they say, you're in boxing, you're as good as your last fight. And boy, did you come back with a vengeance against a guy, Tevin Farmer, who another guy who's been a champion, savvy veteran, and you demolish him in the first round. What was that kind of your coming out party, Junior? Like getting that knockout? Oscar told you, told everyone like you were a star after that fight.
Um, I guess to other people, I'm
Hmm.
still not satisfied with that win. Was it like spectacular fashion? I can agree, but I don't know. I feel like in that Tevin fight, like I just had so much anger, from February. I kind of like wanted to go rounds and like just kind of like,
Punish somebody.
yeah, I kind of like, it might sound bad, but I just wanted to like beat his
Gotta
face
stop
in.
their hand in your
Oh,
face. It's gonna
yeah,
make a
I
move.
forgot to follow those. I just wanted to beat his face in. So like when the fight ended. If you look closely, you could tell I'm still kind of angry. But I was satisfied that night of how it ended. I just wish it would have lasted a little longer so I could have proven, I had an IQ and what we worked on in camp. But I can't complain. It ended in a great fashion. So I'm happy it did.
Right. You don't get paid for overtime. I've heard that said on a few
It's
occasions.
my, it's my favorite saying right there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, I've seen Spence knock someone out here in Frisco, Texas, at 2 minutes, 59 seconds. And that's what he said. I don't get paid for overtime. But with that being said, I mentioned the names earlier, and I know you're still a young fighter on the come up, and you're willing to take on all comers. Not everyone's gonna even want to try to fight a Shakur Stevenson. But do you feel like you kind of alluded to it, like do you feel like you're underappreciated, and maybe even as a boxer that they look at you as just a knockout guy, that you're not a true boxer?
I feel like a lot of that just comes from people being followers. They see someone say something, they run with it, or they don't like my dad. But I feel like if you ever been to one of my fights, there has never been one of my fights you've been to, and I got booed, or where the crowd wasn't standing up at the end of the fight. So, that's what matters to me. Giving the fans great fights, bringing back old school boxing. At the end of the day, you can have all the belts, you can have all the money, but if you're not giving the fans, what they pay for, I mean you're not really going. I mean,
You're not gonna be remembered.
yeah, there's plenty of champions out there who won multiple titles that people don't even know. So I feel like giving the fans exciting fights. That's what I'm here to do, and I feel like that's what I'm doing. If people can disagree, they just hating at that point. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's true. And the fans love knockouts, right? And if there's one complaint in boxing these days, there's probably not enough knockouts. So, um, but
yeah,
but it seems like after the Tevin fight to that point, it seems like your stock has risen. Since then, your profile. Do you feel that from the fans?
No,
mhm.
I mean we've been hot. Not to say it like that, but really we've been hot. We had 300,000 before these fans. We've been selling merch and the NFTs. We were throwing fights ourselves before we got the Oscar, like selling CDs out the trunk of your car. We was doing fights at our own venue selling out. So to us, we've been hot. So people just catching on. But we've been doing our thing. That's what made Oscar jump on and want to become part of the team from watching what we was already doing.
I feel like that's why I wasn't satisfied because I know I had way more than that. So
Oh, we're gonna take it on to JoJo though. JoJo gonna see. JoJo gonna see. But you gotta watch it's fall on your head. I
No,
remember
you're
that.
good. I think your network is a little poor there, so the picture's smaller, but I can hear you guys clearly, which is the most important.
Okay.
Um, but let's go to JoJo though. Again, another tough fight, and I think that's what people like about you, Kid Austin, is that you're willing to fight everybody. And JoJo, just had arguably fight of the year against Regis Prograis. Some people even thought he may have won the fight, and now again, former world champion. It seems like he's kind of rebirthed, re-energized. Some would call it a dangerous fight for you. Talk about the fight and what JoJo brings to the table.
I think JoJo brings a lot of heart, a lot of courage, experience. Way a lot. I think he is the most experienced fighter I fought to date. So I feel like that's what he's bringing. But me personally, I feel like he's gone through so much in his lifetime already, and he's got some wear and tear on him that him thinking he's gonna make a comeback. Yeah, it's good to believe in yourself and whatnot, but I think he got the wrong person to try and do it with. Cause I'm just like I like letting. I don't like talking, so I like letting the fight do the talking. But he knows what I'm trying to say. We shared the ring before. Um, and when we shared the ring, I was about 18, 19, and I was smaller than him. So I'm more disciplined now. I train way harder, way bigger, more experience. I think I hit way harder. So I feel like the fans are in for a good fight. I know he's going to come in and give 100%. My team reminds me every day, JoJo's in that gym working. So I feel like that just motivates me. So, um, yeah, I'm excited. And then it's gonna be my son's first fight that he's at. So yeah, it's gonna be a long night for him
Yeah, it should be a great
if he
crowd
doesn't
too.
fall early.
Yeah, should be a great crowd out there. Um, you know, you mentioned sharing the ring with JoJo, but correct me if I'm wrong though. You've been sparring partners for, I think, maybe Shakur, Tank, some of these other guys when you were only a teenager. Correct, remind
Yeah,
me on that.
All of them.
I was getting him ready. I was getting him ready as a teenager, and like some people be like,
You gotta let them know they was current champions, not just
oh,
getting
yeah.
ready, working up. They current champions defending their belts. Now go ahead. And just to name the names before you get into it, it's Sean Porter, Adrian Broner Camp, Tank Camp, and Camp with Tank twice, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, JoJo Diaz, Robert Easton Jr. So the list go on. He been getting champions ready for their fights. So to us, the world is gonna see, but everybody else know, because 2 years ago I already said when Floyd get in position, Tank gonna retire. Everybody hated me because they said I was too cocky, I was losing my mind. I said, y'all gonna see when Floyd get in position, Tank gonna retire. Tank is retiring. And Tank coach came up and said, we're not retiring because of Schofield, but Tank just got other things. But I said it 2 years ago. I said, Shakur gonna move up. Shakur running to 140 now. And it is what it is. I mean, I wouldn't want to fight him. I seen what he did to them in the ring.
Crazy.
So now he's a bigger version with knockouts. I wouldn't want to do it. So I understand them. But it is what it is. So now people get to see what I've been saying all along, that they've been saying I was crazy losing my mind. And JoJo, our goal is to knock JoJo out. JoJo haven't been slept. Our goal is to sleep him. That's the accomplishment for us. Not just to beat him, but to have him laid out on that mat where they got to pull him up out of that ring on that Garney. Then we did our job. Then people say, JoJo's never been stopped like that. Because it's one thing fighting champions, but it's a statement we got to make. And then after that, we fight for the world title. So JoJo is in the way of us getting this title shot next. We already know that it's lined up.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I love what you just stated, Senior. And so, just as a young fighter, getting all these guys, all these champions ready, you know, they're bringing you in bring good work, right? I mean, that's the point. Is that where that confidence comes in, Junior? Like, I've already been in the ring with champions, and you were young, and now you're growing and just on the cusp of becoming a champion.
I wouldn't say that's where my confidence come from. I feel my confidence come from
I think it comes from hypnotizing.
not even that.
That's
Well,
where
of
it
course,
comes from.
that like I would just be blacking out right before the fights. That's a different talk. But
Mm.
I just feel like, my dad had me in it so young, so long. He was very like hard on me, strict with the boxing. So I know what I'm capable of, and he pushes me in training. So I know my abilities, I know how hard I work. And I know for sure nobody in this day and age, or from my era, works harder than me because, 3 workouts a day, every day.
Don't give too many secrets.
Oh,
We don't want to tell
but
them.
yeah, so I just feel like my work ethic is what gives me my confidence because I know nobody's gonna outwork me or outwill me because I get my all in that ring, as y'all can see. Been cut, everything, get back up, right back to fighting. So
Yeah, yeah. You mentioned Tank Senior that he doesn't want anything to do with Junior. Now he's fighting. I don't know if it's an exhibition or a real fight. I've kind of lost track with Jake Paul, but he does hold the WBA title, right? So do you think that fight will not happen? Um,
No, he said he's retiring after the Jake Paul fight. The WBA, everybody know he's retiring after the thing. They know Floyd gonna have to fight his next fight for the WBA title against somebody. And I would believe that it will be Lucas Body since he just won a fight for 10 titles. Remember, Floyd holds 2 WBA titles. Okay, Farouk, we interview him. He holds 2 current WBA titles, so he's in line to fight for the title. So I think it's gonna be Lucas and Floyd fighting for that world title. But Tank is retiring. Tank ain't coming back to 135 from going up that weight. You think he's gonna drop all the way back down past 147, 140 to come to 135? For real, and all his big fights is at 147, 140, those areas. So I don't think Tank is coming back, and he's vacating.
I'm gonna sleep that boy right there. Lucas, oh my God, I can't wait to get my hands on him.
But it ain't saying like Tank is running. Tank earned the right to pick and choose. I mean, Tank did what he had to do. He became the face of boxing. it's time for him to cash out. When you get into your 30s, you're supposed to have major money and get out of here. All of the young fighters should learn from what happened to Ali. Somebody that's been in the ring too long. If you don't make the money you got to make by 34 years old, something wrong. So I believe Tank is doing it right. I don't think Tank should fight Kid. I would love it to happen. I still say Kid would stop him, but it's nothing to prove there. There ain't no egos there. Tank should get his 40 million, and if he could grab up another 20 million somewhere and sell off in the sunset, he'll never be able to spend that money if he invested right.
I disagree.
No, that's because you on a different thing. He went through a different journey. Tank went through a different journey.
I'm saying you could get the same money fighting the create a legacy. I mean, what is he gonna be known for? Knocking out.
But Tank didn't come in like that. He didn't come in to set a legacy.
He fooled everybody
He came in under Floyd Mayweather. And you know Floyd Mayweather was about the money. It's how they select their people to get the big fights where they could cash out. That's what Floyd did. That's his teacher. He's not from the school like you where you want to fight everybody, put on the best fights, be a legend. You know, he's not trying to beat Sugar Ray Robinson record of being the greatest fighter of all time. He's trying to make his money. It's two different roads. So I think Tank did a good job, and I'm proud of the young man. I knew Tank before he even blew up. He came to the gym and we watched him spar. He was one of the ones who motivated Floyd because he knocked out one of Floyd's teammates in the gym, and that put Floyd really. When you see the beast Floyd, you see in parts of Tank in there too. Somebody that he looked up and watched growing up.
I don't look up to you no more. I'm just saying.
Yeah, because it's mandatory. That's the only reason.
Not even. I just like my dad has a good point, but I just feel like from a boxer standpoint, I can't condone that. Like I feel like when he said he wasn't the face of boxing, I was like, all right, cool, because you can't have that title and you're not fighting the top dogs. I just feel like you can gain that same money with a better reputation. Now, some people are gonna say yes, Tank was one of the greats because I guess he was knocking everybody out. But other people, they like to say those comments. The 30-year-old prospect, I just feel like he could have done it a different way and gained a lot more respect and
And that's just your opinion.
Probably.
That's just your opinion.
It's my opinion. Everybody got different opinions.
Right. So everybody not having fits off of what you said.
It's my opinion, guys, so don't get offended, bro. So the opinion.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because one of my questions, and you both were discussing it, you come across Junior as a kid Austin, that wants to have a legacy, that cares about legacy. There's very few, it seems like nowadays, to your point, Senior, about Tank and so forth, but like Crawford, Benavidez, Canelo was one of those guys where legacy was important. But it seems like Kid Austin, that's really, you want to leave your mark on the sport.
Well, if I went through all this, sacrificing and not having a childhood, I want people to remember.
But they don't know. Like your fans don't know. Like he was homeschooled and all he studied was boxing, the 5 styles. He competed every week and going to amateur events. So he was designed because we didn't have another way to make money and we came from being homeless. So he was designed. Like everything that y'all see, I had to strategically place there. So him studying the Sugar Ray Robinsons, the Willie Peps, the Marvin Hagler, other guys, these other boxers, they didn't have that luxury. They had to go to school. They had to do this. They was not sat there and programmed and in the gym programming. So it's two different avenues. I'm telling people he's the greatest boxer of all time because I believe no boxer in history had their whole childhood where they got programmed, boxing, then hypnotized, being this monster in the ring, like he was designed for fighting. So I want to see how this journey going to be, but I believe he's going to shock the world because none of these guys had that form of training.
This might be going out on a limb. It almost seems like Mike Tyson, like what Cus D'Amato did with Mike. And older as a teen, getting him off the streets, of course, but almost programming him into being this quote unquote monster in the ring. Is there a similarity there?
No, it's a major similarity. The only thing messed Mike up is once Cus died. He had his original crew that had to teach him was scattered and kicked out. So all that programming that Cus put in him went out the window for the most part. Now he had all these other people in there, other trainers. They didn't know what he was programmed doing. So it is the same thing because boxing is 90% mental. Truthfully, it's only like really 10% physical. So when you're in there, a lot of people train the physical, but they never train the mental. They don't do none of the mental work, the hypnotizing work, the sleeping work. They don't do none of that. They just go in the ring and think they could fight. But when they just lost. They lost the science of boxing. So I believe he's the only one currently that still remember the old science of boxing.
You know, every time I see an interview with Junior, and even now, you're very thoughtful, very well spoken, and you mentioned the history of boxing. Same with Iron Mike. You know, very thoughtful, knows history,
Yeah.
not just boxing history, but knows world history and so forth. So very, very. I mean, that homeschooling you've gone through. I mean, kudos to them because you can tell you're very, very sharp, not just in boxing. So I just wanted to, throw that out there.
Thank you.
No, I mean, you very, very a great young man. Let me ask you, the names. You kind of mentioned the names, or I mentioned the names earlier, but also, Tank was the guy at 135. You had Shakur. Now, guys moving up. For you though, because the bigger names have moved up, how long do you see yourself at 135 to create that legacy? You want to get into some of those marquee names, like Hagler Hearn, Sugar Ray Hagler, those kind of fights. How long will you be at 135, or do you wait for like a Mason or guys like that to build a little bit?
Exactly.
I'm gonna answer. I'm gonna let my dad answer. I think I could stay. I'm not gonna grow that much no more. I don't think. As far as height, I might get a little bit muscle, but it's all about discipline. So I think I'm definitely gonna stay here till I get all the belts. Then once I get all the belts, I'm gonna capture all the belts at 140. So that's what I'm gonna do. Maybe I might end my career at 154. Who knows? So my thing is just fighting everybody. Whether it's Mason, whoever. If they got a belt or if they're my mandatory,
And never gonna fight you.
but I'm saying, like, if it's mandated, I don't think so either. But if it's mandated, I feel like I'm gonna fight my.
Tyson he'll never be mandated. WBO don't even got us on their ranking.
That
They're not gonna.
That is
They're not
crazy,
gonna let us go
WBO.
like
That is
that.
wild.
Boy.
I ain't gonna lie.
Because they're keeping us away
I ain't
from
gonna
the
lie.
young man. Like the WBC got us ranked 34. We ranked in the IBF and
Rank 34 in the
34 in the WBC.
That's how they respect.
Now be high for real. That
Wasn't I just like
because
14 when I was
it's
about
politics.
man?
They don't want you to get to their champions. They comfortable with Shakur and Mason.
Well, they gotta drop the
comfortable with
belt.
the Saudis. They comfortable with TKO, who said we'll never fight on their card. They protecting their fighters. So that's what it comes down. It's a lot of politics in boxing.
I'm
A lot more than. It's not like back in the day where you could fight anybody and everybody wanted to be great. It's so much politics
Yeah.
where they want to design to get a big payday. Because when you're talking about 20, 40, 60 million dollars, all they got to do is guide this person carefully and to give him one title shot. And that's how it is in this business now. And I think it all started from that Floyd Mayweather era, that people started being more businessmen and saying, we don't have to take this punishment. But yo, the boxing about to change. Boxing about to change seriously back into that way. Back into the fighters' way. We gonna bring that shit back where people really leaving with black eyes. These other dudes they fight, nobody got a bloody nose, a black eye, a bruise. Like, I thought it was a fight. So we gonna bring the excitement back. And that's all we want to say. We want the viewers to stay tuned. What you feel about that?
I don't care. You don't like watching me fight? Turn off your TV.
Nobody said they didn't like.
No, I'm just saying. My bad. I'm just thinking. But I'm like my dad said. We're here to give exciting fights, bring back old school boxing. And if you don't like our fights, turn the TV off. I mean,
I agree with your dad. I don't think that's a problem.
Right.
And you got a great nickname too, Kid Austin. Let me ask you about a couple fights that are out there scheduled, not in your weight class, but names Shakur and Tio. I don't know if it's finalized yet, but it seems like it's as close as to being finalized. Who do you like in that one?
I got Shakur.
None of them.
Somebody got to win the fight.
None of them.
He's a jerk, bro.
None of them. Trash.
I feel like it's gonna be a draw.
Nah, and I like the guys, but they trash cans. That's a trash can fight to me.
It is. I feel like that is a fight. Like that's not a fight that's needed in boxing right now. I mean, To me, I feel like that fight's just gonna be them standing there.
Shakur should be
looking at each other.
fighting us. He should be fighting us. They know what happened. They know we didn't pull out. Why they running and hauling? But he should be fighting us. Like, for real, for real. That's how I feel. So anybody fight running up there, over there, to me, that's garbage. Y'all know we trained. We was there to have a fight. We was a couple of days away. They know what the hell happened. Why we not getting our shot back? Are they really scared? So we not concerned with what Shakur do anymore. If he not giving us our shot, we wish him well, and he can have whatever fight he want. T.O. got beat by Cambosa. Come on, Cambosa isn't great. So, to me, it's trash cans.
They didn't rematch that fight. No, they didn't rematch that fight. They should rematch that fight.
It's garbage. It's another tailored fight to make a big payday. I bet you both of them leave with no bruises or blood. It might be a decorated sparring match. For all I know,
like
it might be friends just, doing their thing. Shakur can't hurt T.O. with them hands.
He's gonna outbox him.
He can outbox him, but he can't hurt T.O. T.O. could box some, but T.O. is his wing gonna hold up to chase Shakur around all night while in box? It's gonna be a boring fight. Shakur not going to engage, but Shakur ain't going to engage with T.O. like he did Zepeda. He ain't gonna stand toe to toe with T.O. So it's gonna be a boring chess match run. Trash cans.
Let me ask you, and I don't think you'll say the same thing on this fight, but Devin and Brian Norman.
Brian Norman sleeping Devin.
You think so?
I know so.
I think Devin gonna run.
Of course he gonna run. He better not stand there.
I think Devin gonna run. Devin gonna box smart. I think he's smart enough not to exchange because his chin isn't to stand there and exchange with Brian Norman. I mean, come on.
We grew up with B Norman.
That's why I said his chin isn't strong to stand toe to toe, but I think Devin could box him. I think Devin gonna box all night.
I feel like Devin could possibly outbox him, but I feel like Brian is coming out victorious in that fight.
You really do?
If Brian is able to get to him, yeah, but if he lets Devin have his way, I feel like could pick him off with his reach and whatnot.
We'll see.
He's just 12-round fight.
Do you got any fights you gonna ask about where there might be some blood in one of the fights? Like somebody gonna
be that fight going. Brian gonna crack Devin in that big nose.
Man, these brothers not in there trying to kill nobody, and they're in there playing tennis. You hit me, I hit you. Sorry, go ahead, y'all go ahead. We just rambled.
No. I feel like Brian and Kid Austin are kind of in that similar realm that you guys are both kind of on the come up, just in boxing, knock out guys and can fight, can box.
Yeah. He said it's the dads. I think that's what it is. The dads on their ass pushing them. And we know the Normans. Like Floyd did his amateur career in Georgia right along with them. Like to the point that I told Floyd to go in there and spar him. Floyd like, Dad, he's 14, I'm 9. Type thing like
that. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. So we know them like that. So I don't think Devin want to stand toe-to-toe in exchange with this guy.
Hey.
Well, we'll wrap that up. You asked if there's another fight on the horizon. Benavidez has got a fight coming up. We know he comes to fight Anthony Yard.
Benavidez by stoppage.
Yeah, Yard.
Yeah, I haven't heard
Yard been doing though.
What has Yard been doing?
He been on break a long time. To come and fight somebody that tough, did he get a tune-up fight?
Comeback fight.
Well, he wanted the better be of. I think David thought he was going to get the Bivol Benavidez, or better be a Bivol fight, but I think they're going to do a rematch or trilogy, right? It'd be a trilogy. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So we talked about Shakur and Tank, a fight that I think a lot of fans wanted to see.
Fans didn't want to see that shit.
Who would have won that fight though, Senior? Who do you like if they
Tank. Whoa. Tank would have beat him. Y'all better stop playing. Y'all know Tank got a big block ass head, and nobody hurting Tank with that big head. Not even Rolly can hurt him. And no disrespect to Shakur, but we all know Shakur have been struggling from hand issues. Sure. So there's no way he's hurting Tank. And Tank already sparred him. Tank know how he move. Tank coming to knock him out. And Tank got power in both hands. Come on, that's a comment. For 12 rounds, y'all think Shakur could run the whole time from Tank?
He did with Edwin.
Come on, but Edwin ain't Tank.
Yeah, he not.
Tank hit way harder than Edwin and got a higher IQ. So
true.
I think Shakur trying to get a payday. That's all that is.
I think it would have been 50-50.
I ain't hating on nobody pockets. I just want to see somebody who earned it fight Tank.
What?
Somebody who fought people fight Tank. If Tank gonna have a fight, not somebody who picked and choose.
What Kid Austin, what about you and Lamont Roach? Is that a fight you would want?
Lamont,
I ain't
small.
gonna. Yeah, respect. I respect Lamont, and I like what he did in the Tank fight, but
He too
he
small.
fought. I think he fought a Tank that wasn't focused. That man, yeah, he's too small. Then two, that's not like he's not ranked, so that's not a fight that get me nowhere.
No, but you want to hear something crazy? I didn't hear Lamont call out, kid. They talk about him fighting Tank even the other places. Lamont not interested in the fight with
What
Kid.
is he really
Not
fighting?
one word, not one thing.
Is he really?
So I don't think Lamont want to fight us. That'd be a dangerous fight for Lamont.
Yeah, you know that.
Did
I like
you
Lamont though. Good dude.
Yeah, he is. I like him too.
And we'll wrap up here in a minute.
Take your
just real
time.
quick-
There's no rush.
No, that's okay. I got to feed the dogs. But I love this, man. I'd love to do this on a regular basis. Crawford getting pulled over after his victory parade. Did you guys see that?
I seen a little clip of it. Yeah.
Yeah. They got the key to the city, I don't know how many thousands of people out there, and then at gunpoint, him and the people in his car. I didn't know if you guys had heard about that.
That's good. That's good. It brought light to the situation. You know how many other brothers get pulled over at gunpoint for nonsense, not doing nothing, just driving black? So that's good that it brought light to hopefully now people, the mayor and people. No, but it needs to stop. There's no way a dude should have his gun out.
Cop seen the gun on the floor though. So
But it's on the floor. What you
But
got
you
the
don't-
gun
you don't
on?
know
He
if
could
it's
have his
on.
gun here. You looking at the dude. The dude got his hands up. Why is your gun pointed at him? He's not a threat. You didn't even ask, do he got a gun license? You didn't ask nothing. That ain't the way you trained as a cop to protect and serve. So I just think that it's good that it brought light to it, because somebody of his magnitude that legally could carry a gun, why do a citizen get treated like that could legally carry his gun?
Right.
So
I kind of feel like if I'm a cop, I see a gun on the floor, I'm gonna at least draw. I'm gonna have my gun drawn,
but not pointed at the person's
'cause-
face, not all this shit.
Well, I'm not saying pointing it is wrong, especially if the dude hand is up. I didn't see all that. I just heard about it. But I'm just saying, if the case is dude got gun on the floor,
You will unholster it, but it will
I'm gonna have
it
would be like right here, and I would have my flashlight, license
Yeah, I
registration.
agree with that.
Cause like you never know. I've seen videos where the cop just look down for 1 second and they hop out the car and start shooting at the cop. So,
But I hope it bring light to the situation that not everybody is a criminal that has a gun. Some people carry it legally, because it could have been a misunderstanding. One bad move, he shoots Crawford, and now he never had a chance to ask him, give me your gun license. Is that gun registered? Let me see your ID. None of that. Just get out the car. It's like, wait, why did we get out the car first before any other the questions?
Right.
Anything. So it's being black in America. It's the norm, man. It's always been that way. So for us, it's not shocking. For America, it might be.
Yeah.
I comply. I ain't gonna have that problem. I'll be like, sir, you want me to get out the car? I get out the car.
And I don't want to end on that note, but what should we expect, Kid Austin? November 8th, Dickies Arena, co-main event on Vergil Ortiz, Erickson Lubin. That's going to be a barn burner. What should we expect from you against JoJo Diaz?
Drawing blood from him.
A good fight.
A good fight. Exciting. I know he's coming to fight. I know he's coming to bring his all. Just expect a good fight, an exciting fight. You're gonna be satisfied, definitely. Fireworks for sure. Fireworks.
Awesome. Hey guys, man, I appreciate this. Senior, thanks for getting me in touch with your son. Let's do this again
Anytime.
soon, and I'll definitely see you guys in Fort Worth in a not too long.
Yes,
Yes,
so
sir.
so you get that victory interview, because we
All
gonna
right.
win. We knocking JoJo out. You can mark that one.
Awesome. All right, guys.
All right.
Have a great
Thank
night.
you.
Appreciate it.
You too.
Bye.